All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Jen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Waldner.
Here.
Commissioner Thill.
Here.
Commissioner Corbin.
Here.
Mayor Lindsay.
Here. You have before you the agenda for this evening.
Make a motion we approve the agenda for this evening.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no appearances or acknowledgments, is there anything anyone wants removed from the consent calendar?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no old business, under new business, resolution number 2018-2, establish employee compensation 2018 revised. Okay, and Jen, would you want to address this briefly?
I can start. You have in front of you a very short resolution, which, as it states, establishes employee compensation for 2018. The difference here is the blurb that is in all of the pages of the salary resolution in regard to the retired health insurance. The new statement, as directed, is stated there in the resolution. The retired health insurance benefit is revised to state retired health and dental insurance, able to retain group health and dental coverage by paying 100% of each monthly premium if eligible for South Dakota Retirement System benefits and has 15 years of full-time cumulative service. Coverage may continue until retiree reaches the age of 55 or otherwise qualifies for the Medicare program.
Okay, very good. And I know we have people in here and that have a concern, and rightfully so. This benefit change is fueled by the new federal regulations and guidelines, and in order to come into compliance with the Affordable Care Act. The city's mandated annual reporting includes a detailing of each group health plan participant, their dependents, and whether or not the coverage the city provides is affordable and retirees are a part of it. The city must comply with the ACA guidelines and be subject to the annual penalties on a per plan, per person basis. Retirees cannot stay on the group health plan and receive monetary reimbursement for any portion of that group health care plan premium. We've spent many hours in following research, presentation, and much discussion of the retiree health insurance benefits provided by other municipalities and other local governments. It was decided that we needed to bring, we don't need to, we have to bring Madison in compliance with ACA. And under the ACA guidelines, employers cannot reimburse or pay for a current employee's individual medical policy on a tax-free basis, allow an employee pre-tax salary reductions for the cost of an individual medical policy, or pay or reimburse an employee's individual medical policy on a taxable basis. And under the Medicare guidelines, and that the only way a retiree can remain on the health insurance is if the health insurance plan of the city offers the benefits to the retiree on the city's plan. The IRS has repeatedly stated that employers are prohibited from reimbursing employees for individual health premiums, period. Can an employer reimburse an employee for an individual health plan as health coverage? The answer is no. An employer must offer a group health plan to offer health coverage. If an employer who has to comply with the mandate tries to reimburse an employee for individual coverage, they face a $100 a day or $36,500 per year per employee fine. The only ones that are exempted from this particular one are employers with under 50 employees, and Madison does not qualify under that. So with that, is there anyone that wants to speak to this? Okay. And Darwin, for those at home, if you would state your name and then.
All right, Darwin Wallman, Madison.
Mhm.
I understand what you're trying to say here, but I haven't heard you use the word retiree very often. You said employee. I'm not an
It-
employee, so.
Retiree, there's a whole thing on retirees. The only way a retiree can receive coverage is if it is spelled out in the city's health plan and they are a part of the city's health plan.
And the other thing is, the research, I got notified this on very late today, so I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of research on my own. But you can't tell me there isn't a way that this can be reworded as some type of other benefit to the retired employees. It doesn't have to fall under health insurance.
This point in that, we have not researched anything in that direction, and I don't know any way we could do it without hiring you back on as an employee. Because everything that I've read through Medicare.gov, through the IRS.gov, David spent the weekend researching it, Jen spent the weekend researching it. I don't know how much time the others spent on it, but we've spent days on this, and what it comes out to be is what we are doing is not legal.
Right, but what I'm
And
saying
therefore-
is, the research I did, there's some places that just reworded it. But what makes it illegal is you're using the word health insurance.
What makes it illegal is that we are not following the ACA guidelines, and under the ACA guidelines, if we have it in our health insurance policy, and you remain on our health insurance as a retiree, we can offer you coverage. And Medicare, when you get to be Medicare, they are the primary, and then the city's health insurance is the secondary. We do not offer it on the city's policy for retirees, from what I can see, that meets the ACA guidelines.
Okay, so what you're telling me is you guys have no desire to even look into the possibility of this being reworded?
At this point in time, we haven't found anything that says it's legal.
But it's not legal because you're wording it under health insurance.
What do we word it under?
That's what Dave Jenks is here for.
At this point in time, and that, I don't know that, we've asked him to do that. And from the other standpoint, we've researched 15 other towns.
Okay, another example here, let's say a year from now, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act gets repealed. Can this come back into play then?
This was supposed to have taken place in 2017. We thought it was going to be repealed, and it wasn't.
Right, but let's say...
Now the paperwork is showing what we're doing, and what we're doing is not allowed under Medicare, under IRS, or under the ACA, from what I can
I don't
understand.
think you're really listening to what I'm saying.
I'm understanding what
If
you're
this
saying.
gets repealed, If Obamacare Care Act gets repealed, can this come back?
I cannot answer that because you'd have to get repealed first and find out what they did
Well,
after the
that's why
repeal.
that should be, that part should be put in this, that if it gets repealed, then this can be put back in. That should be added to this resolution.
I think at that point in time, it would be taken a different look at again. But do I feel it needs to be a part of this? No.
Okay, so you
Now-
have no desire to table this tonight?
I am just trying to answer your questions,
I think it should be
and
tabled.
that's going to be up to
Yeah, I
the
think
commissioners.
this should be tabled for tonight, because this got pretty hush-hush. Hardly anybody even heard about this until tonight.
Oh, it was discussed last January, and at that point in time, and that, we thought due to the election, the
Every city employee I
ACA,
talked to, the first
You're
thing
not-
I heard about it was today, so.
I'm not
I'm
disagreeing.
just asking that you
I'm not
table it for
disagreeing
tonight,
with you.
so
Okay.
us people can have a chance to do our own research and talk to their own attorneys. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hi, Kim Bray from Madison. That benefit for retirees was negotiated through the union as a benefit, and probably other pay raises were given up in lieu of that benefit. Is there anything the commission's gonna do to help current employees that are losing that benefit?
Current employees aren't losing the benefit, other than the current employees will be allowed to stay on the health insurance. This here,
I
this
understand,
affects
but
all
when they
25
retire,
people.
They won't have this benefit either.
That is, the way it stands now, you're correct. I can't answer your future.
So
The thing that we're looking at is, this is something that we need to address, and we need to address it, according to rules and that have changed.
Understand.
Obamacare came out and changed a lot of things. And it was anticipated that, if President Trump got in there, it would be abolished. That didn't happen. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen either. So what we have to do is work with the guidelines, the rules, and regulations that are currently in force. And that's what this is, currently in force.
Right.
So, what can be done, down the road, I can't answer that. I don't have an answer for you. Okay?
Well, I would hope that negotiations with current employees, unions, would reflect some kind of a give and take, since you're taking away from a benefit that current
Okay,
employees
and
receive.
please keep in mind, we aren't taking it away. Okay? The rules, the IRS, Medicare, ACA rules, that's what's taking it away. What we have to do is we have to come into compliance so that the city of Madison taxpayers don't get fined for not being in compliance.
Understood. But
Now,
do you
what could happen in the future, under everything I've researched so far, is Madison could negotiate with the our health coverage and allow retirees to stay on the health coverage. That is allowed. So if you are currently retired, currently on the health care system, there is a possibility that the health care could be such that you could be allowed to stay on the health care. But if that's the case, Medicare still becomes the primary payer, and the health care system of the city of Madison becomes secondary. That is allowed. Payments other than outside are not allowed. That's what we're having to address.
Kim, I do not believe that the stipend reimbursement is in the Teamsters contract either. Please double check that specific verbiage.
And even if it is,
Either contract, electrician, union, or
I believe it's in the electric, it is not in the Teamsters.
but even if it is now illegal. So then it has to be taken care of the same way we're looking at right now. Oh no, I'm not happy to sit up here, but I'm the one that did the research, and I'm the mayor, and I'm the one that gets the big bucks. So, yes, I'm here to tell you what I know, but I can't make inferences as to what could happen in the future. But everything that I've read says retirees, if it's a part of your health plan and they're on the city's health plan, then they could stay as retirees. But currently, in that, I do not believe that that's a part of our health plan. Other than you can stay on our retiree health plan.
Till you reach Medicare age.
Yes, till you reach Medicare
So there's
age.
still a substantial benefit being offered here. When you retire, you have the ability to stay on the group health and dental plan for a considerable number of years, based on the age that you retire.
But now you're saying when you retire, that's too late, I'm already retired.
You can stay on the health plan till you're 65 or Medicare eligible.
But when you stay on it, I'm not on it now.
You're right, so you can't
Okay,
jump
so
back
then-
on, unfortunately.
Yes.
Right, that's part of
Yes.
the verbiage.
Yep. Now, Aberdeen, Huron, Yankton, Brandon, T, and Canton are just some of them that offer no retiree health benefits at all. Mitchell and Pier recently made changes to their retiree health benefits, and none of the 15 entities in that we contacted provide any monetary reimbursement to a retired employee on any group health plan or a monetary reimbursement to any retired employee covered by Medicare. So I mean, Madison right here, we're the only one out there that is offering stay on the health insurance and a stipend.
What were some of those cities?
Aberdeen, Huron, Yankton, Brandon, T, Canton. Mitchell and Pierre just recently made changes to their retiree health insurance benefits. And again, if you were on our coverage and we allowed it to go past age 65, that is allowed. But currently, everyone else in here, once you reach age 65 and are eligible for Medicare, you no longer have any coverage.
Yeah, just a question.
Would you come to the mic, please, Denny, and that so that people at home can hear?
Dennis Poppin. I am on the city's health
Mm-hmm.
insurance, all that. So is the city gonna do anything, check into that, to see if that can remain under their policies?
So when you go past 65,
No, I'm 63 right now, so I'd be eligible for 2 years yet before Medicare.
monetary reimbursement, as we're currently doing it, is not allowed, period.
Right, but you said as long as I'm a member.
As long as you're a member, if the insurance pool would allow you to stay on at age 66 and 67 and 68,
How about 63 and 64?
oh no, you're covered. You'd be able to stay there till
I
65.
am, but
Yes,
without the reimbursement.
yes.
Correct.
If the health pool reworded it, could they keep you on? Same
This
as
is
they
not a
do.
health pool deal. This is an
Isn't-
Affordable Care Act federal guidelines.
This is federal regulations.
It's not in
Doesn't
regards
have
to the
anything
health
to do with what we are.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the reimbursement part.
Yeah, the reimbursement part is definitely out. And under IRS, under Medicare, and under ACA,
So what you're saying about being able to stay on the city's health has
Yes.
nothing to do with this?
has nothing to do with it. You get to stay on the health plan
Right.
till you're
That has
65,
nothing- that has nothing
but
to
you
do with
cannot
it.
get a stipend. You cannot get any stipend or any payment toward a health insurance plan.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any thoughts to if something were to change back, we could put some wording in so we could revert back to the old plan, or should we just leave it
That's
as
all I
it
was
is?
asking.
You know,
It's pretty unlikely, but
A
I mean,
year ago, we thought it was going to go away.
right.
Congress chose that it's going to stay. So I guess I would be reluctant to do anything like that, because then how do you go back and figure out who?
Just go with the existing policy.
Okay?
We're doing it as a result
No,
of the ACA.
no, I understand, no. If you want to put something in here, I wouldn't have an issue with that. The thing that is tough from my spot right here is that I know that I'm taking away money that people have been getting. But I'm not taking it away because it's something I want to do. It's being taken away because of federal, Medicare regulations, ACA regulations, IRS regulations.
I don't think anybody here is blaming anybody here for this.
No, understood.
But we're just asking if you guys have did it, if you guys can do more to, like I said, try to put it in the resolution where if Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act goes away, that this can come back. Or possibly, Mr. Jenks, is there any way to be able to keep whatever everybody's giving, but be able to reword it and not make it fall under health insurance stipend, you know what I mean?
I know what you're asking, I don't know the answer.
I know you can't answer
haven't-
that tonight, but something to
Yeah.
look into or
Yeah.
research or.
That's up to, I work for them, if they tell me to
Okay.
look at it, I will.
Yeah. Mr. Corbin, I have no problem adding, that to here. I would support that.
And what everybody
And
gets
so if
from this,
ACA disappears, then we could go back to our old policy.
what everybody gets from this, I'm pretty sure it doesn't make them or break them.
The average person's getting $81 a month.
Exactly. Like I said,
The
it's
range
not
is from
breaking, but-
$34 to $162.
Right. It's just the principle, I guess.
Well, it's not just the principle,
Well, I mean,
and that
for
it's
me-
a policy that the city had in effect that's being taken away due to federal regulations.
Yep, well, we all understand why it's been taken away, we're not blaming anybody here for
Mm-hmm.
that. We're just asking if you guys have done everything you can to be on our side with it. That's all. we're
Well,
asking.
and
We let
I
it
wanna-
go a year longer than we should have.
Well, yep, I
Yeah.
understand that too.
I want to say yes, but if there's something out there that I have missed, you know, I've gone through all of the IRS books. I've gone through the Medicare. I've gone down through the ACA.
Well, like I say, if there's just
So-
something a guy could put in there to,
Well, like I said, if you want to be a part-time employee, we could pay you as a part-time employee.
to do what?
Gotta be full-time.
Well,
Yeah.
well, no. To get his, if he wanted to work in the parks and that for, however many hours and that, you could get $100.
At
But
$100 an hour, I don't have to work an hour. No, just see if you guys can work something in there where Obamacare disappears, you can bring it back.
Okay, and I don't have a problem doing that.
What may that wording be, though? I mean, Affordable Care Act,
I don't know if we have a lot of
Why?
automatic triggers in our city ordinances, but
Yeah.
That's the tricky part to it, or, ultimately, typically how this happens is when this comes up, you change your resolution or your ordinance, and then if something else changes, then a commissioner or somebody brings it forward, and then you change it again, your ordinance or your resolution.
I don't even think the reversion language would be enforceable or binding. I think that we'd have to, even if you put it in the current resolution, which I'm not objecting to on a legal basis, I think someone's gonna have to be aware that it goes away, and someone's gonna have to bring it back for a new resolution, ultimately. I'm not opposed to the reversion language. I don't think that it fatally flaws the resolution or anything like that. I just think that it's more policy-based than it is law-based or enforceable. Ultimately, a new resolution, like Mike's saying, is required.
How long, did we decide, how long has this been a benefit?
a long time. As long as I've been here. I've been here 16 years, and this has been that.
So it's been 13, so it's a long-term benefit.
And it currently is going to affect 25 people.
Are those all retirees? Are those all retirees?
26 retirees, right?
Yes. Yeah, this only affects retirees, basically.
Ultimately, it will affect every employee, but
Yes. Yeah, in the long term, yes. But at this point in time, the effect is for 25 people who have retired from the city of Madison. Other questions or comments?
Finance Commissioner?
what it is, it's gotta go, so. I hate to see it go too, because I'm one that's getting it too, but, I'm no different than anybody else.
Commissioner Corbin, your thoughts?
I'm open to modifying it, but I guess in saying if we do, we'll have to review it in the event that the ACU gets overturned anyway, but it would be a nice reminder for future
That's what I was
commissions,
just going to
guess,
say.
because
If
it may
it
not be
was
us.
in there, it would be there as a reminder. Otherwise, in that, 6 months from now, and that it may be forgotten. I don't have an issue with putting it in there, but I do have an issue with us not coming into compliance, just from the standpoint of, we have to fill out the paperwork and send it in, and then their computer could be the one making the decision and come back and bite us.
ACA
So-
may come back with something even better. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know what
We
they're
don't
gonna
know.
rewrite it to be. Might be something better, and then we're locking ourselves into this.
Any recommended verbiage this evening that we can amend the resolution and move forward
I would be
this
uncomfortable
evening?
amending the resolution with that in there, simply because it could be 6 months and it could be 6 years, but if the ACE gets amended, if it does. There was a pretty significant effort to try to tank it this last couple of years. Unsuccessfully, I suspect they're going to just move on to other things right now, at the federal level. I have a little trouble making it incumbent upon a future group of commissioners to reinstate this 6 years from now, because who knows what position we'll be in. I do think it would be good, because believe me, having worked for the employees, they will note it if it's changed for us. If we could not just mention the discussion in there about that somehow in the minutes, that's about as good. I would not want to vote on that, but I wouldn't mind having these noted in the minutes somewhere, so that if it changes and one of these guys or another employee would say, "You got it right here. You said you discussed changing it. We're going to take any action on that." I'd be fine with that. It'd be documented somewhere in the minutes, but I just don't think it can be part of the resolution itself.
I
Jen,
think that's a good compromise.
You're taking the minutes, so
And you will approve the next set of minutes, so I
I
can
mean, I just-
definitely put
that's
some
the
kind
way
of
of-
verbiage in there that details the discussion and the request. If David is okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. Other discussion? Okay, if no discussion, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2018-2, establish employee compensation for 2018 revised.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 2, adopt personnel policy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
Number 2, adopt personnel policy 8.1.1, health and dental insurance. And Jen, again, I'll ask you to address this one.
Okay, this is the personnel policy as revised, specifically letter B there. And that simply states a lot of the same verbiage here that you just approved in the resolution. It does go on to clarify a few things about dependents and COBRA coverage. No changes to this other than the clarification and the updates that were made for this.
I'll make a motion to adopt personnel policy 8.1.1, health and dental insurance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bid number 868, review specifications and set bid date. Ballfield backstop fence project 2018-2. Chad, I'll ask you if you want to speak to it first, and then I'll ask Mike.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. In the agenda packet, you see the recommended advertisement for bids for a project to build backstops at the ball fields at Bachman Pilati. Mr. McGilvery stopped in my office to talk to me about this maybe about 2 months ago, I suppose, and advised me of the project, and reviewing some of the pre-work that he had accomplished. It appeared that the pricing was in excess of some of the statutory bid limits, and so it became apparent that it'd be necessary to bid the project. So we, once we got some time, we went ahead and put together some plans and specs for this, and the item on the agenda tonight is for you to review those plans and specs and to approve them for a bid letting anticipated for February 14th at 2 p.m. As far as some details you can look at, you open up to the back side of the bid packet I just sent you, you can see just a one-page drawing. It shows the fence, and then there's just a few plan notes. Otherwise, it's a lot of our standard type documentation in our bid projects, generally speaking. But Mr. McGilvery had proposed this to us, and we talked about it, talked to some of the manufacturers for this layout. With that, I'll let Mr. McGilvery say whatever he needs to say or answer any questions that you may have.
All I gotta say is just that this linked to the budget process, so we budgeted the money for this and for 2018 and stuff. That's all. If I have any questions, I can just try to ask them, answer them all.
I think it should be also noted that we tried last year for a grant to support this Absolutely, might put together, first turn down, we'll see.
We actually applied for the grant for 3 years in a row, and they're looking at, the way I understood it was, we've been denied the grant 3 years in a row, and they said that it's basically to build new complexes, or to, like, the town that doesn't have a ball diamond, or something like that that's new, and they don't think that they should have to pay the upkeep to take care of the current
Update of it.
structures that we have, is what, from what my understanding was. So if we wanted to build a brand new one, then we can try to get the grant, but
So now, if I remember right, we talked about this during the budget. These are also going to come up then as well?
Or
or-
the backstop behind home plate will be approximately, 2 diamonds will be 20 foot wide, right behind the home plate. They'll be 20 foot tall with a 4 foot, 45-degree angle canopy.
Okay.
And then down the sidelines towards the dugouts, there'll be 30 foot of 20 foot high fence with a 4 foot angle canopy. And we're gonna pick it up with 12 foot fence for another 40 foot to try to eliminate the balls that cut off the sides.
Yep.
And then change some of the gate locations so that it's more safe for the spectators while they're sitting watching the ball game. We're not gonna eliminate all the foul balls at the ball game, but we all know that how many come on the plate.
Well, and currently, the fence height is approximately 5 foot tall, so we're going from 5 foot to 12 foot.
On the sidelines,
On the
it's
sidelines.
16 foot high backstops, and then on the sideline, and then down towards the dugouts, we only have 8 foot, approximately 8 foot of 16 foot high fence going down the sideline. So we're gonna go from 8 foot to 30 foot down the sideline. So should eliminate some of them, or the majority of them, but not all. I can't guarantee it at the ball diamond.
If you look at the drawing, you can see the blue shows the 20-foot high fence with the, which will have the, in addition to the 20-foot, it will have that 4-foot canopy that Mike's talking about. And then the pink or the red is just a 12-foot straight fence.
I also need to add that the ball diamond, the fences are worn out currently. They're past their life expectancies. I played on them same diamonds with the same fence 20 years ago, over 20 years ago.
Now you're making me feel old.
You're over 20? What?
Yeah, I wish I was.
I think your predecessor expressed concerns about this at the Park and Rec meetings.
Oh.
You know, this is not a new issue at all. It's an issue of safety, guys, folks, and
It is.
it's also keeping up what we do have, you know.
And the nice thing about it is, they get a lot of use. They get a lot of use. And that's the plus side of it, so.
$70,000 in your budget, right?
Can't guarantee the bid's gonna come in under $70,000. Wish it
That's
could.
what you're budgeted.
Well, I think that, to speak that a little bit though, and I'm not trying to see defend them, we looked at doing 2 and then another year, but that, catching all 4 at once, save us some money if we can do that.
I think it will in the big picture.
It'll save us about $10,000 if we do all 4 of them, so. And
It's
from the current bids that I have, but we found out that the $50,000, I'm learning a lot about the
Bids,
process.
bid laws?
So,
Nice done a good job.
between lawnmowers and ball diamond fences, I don't know if there's enough on them, so.
And you're right, you know, Mike just looked at other, we discussed it, talked about other communities, you know, these are some basic improvements. We're not looking at anything that puts us beyond anybody else, but I think there are things we need to take a look and do. Thought about it, he's done a great job of researching this.
It's-
Well beyond.
It's part of the
effort.
image of our city too.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime I drive through another community and I see nice ballparks, I mean, it's a reflection on the community, so.
And those ballparks generate a lot of activity, which also generates a lot of sales tax for the city of Madison. So, you know, it pays to upgrade them and that, so that people want to come here and play.
I'll make a motion that we approve bid number 868, review specifications, set bid date, ball field backstop fence project 2018-2, and bid date of
February 14th.
February 14th,
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Happy Valentine's.
And up to, well, I guess I won't set it, we just know what the bid amount is, so we're good.
Second.
Is there any possible way that the street department and the parks department can go out there? Well, years ago, the engineers came out, they staked it out. We drilled, the electrical department drilled the holes. We put the fence up, and we still had time to do our street maintenance, seal coating, blacktopping.
I see your point and stuff, but I think the city's grown a lot since the last ball diamond has been built, and with a two-man crew in the park department and having it completed by May, our expertise probably isn't the best at building 20-foot high fences with 45-degree canopies and stuff. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's a little bit weak.
Didn't they help on removing some of the fencing?
Well, they're gonna help. We left the current fence, because we
Right.
didn't know with this bid process, so we don't wanna be without ball diamonds, especially
Right.
with everything coming to town. Yeah, I mean, I see your point too on that, but
We put the backstops and fence going down by the dugouts. We did 2 of them in 1990.
yeah, I understand diamonds 4 and 5. I understand that. I think that we're all busy and we all have a lot of stuff going on right now. We want to push it back into June and get it completed, but then Gary's busy with his guys too, so.
Sounds like you've already looked into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we appreciate that.
We did the backstop, the city did the backstop at Twin Field last year to save a bunch of money. And that turned into about a month-long project, just doing one ball diamond and that cables and stuff, so.
Bring in the experts, let them do it.
That's kind of how I feel.
I think Mike mentioned about removal. I should have made it clear that his crews and the public works guys
Are gonna remove
removing
them.
everything.
Yep.
To save the money, we're
You
gonna
bet.
remove the footings and all the fence, the current fence, and we've started on 2 of them, are removed right now, just
So they're gonna do part of it.
we're trying to save money every way we can have it.
Thanks for your
All
hard
right.
work, Bob.
Yeah.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thanks, Mike.
We don't have a holiday next Monday, do we?
Maybe
No,
not.
okay.
Should
Seeing
we
no
declare one?
announcements, no executive session.
Let's make one.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.